Have any of you ever taken an Uber or a Lyft? Maybe some of you even drive for Uber or Lyft. Now, when Uber first came about, I remember how game-changing it was. Because before then, kids, we used to take something called taxi cabs. And there was no app. If you were in a bigger city, maybe you could stand on the side of the street and wave one down. But if you were in smaller areas, you had to call the taxi cab station. And most likely you would be waiting for like 30 minutes, an hour, or even longer for the cab to pull up. Well, Uber changed the game. Because within a click of a button, you would have some random person pulling up to take you wherever you wanted for cheap. Like a ride to the airport in a taxi would be like $115. A ride to the airport in an Uber would be like $7. So it just was like a no-brainer. And the same thing goes with Airbnbs when Airbnbs first came about. I think the whole idea was, well, hey, instead of paying for a professional driving service to pull up, we'll have some random person come take you somewhere in their car. Airbnb was the same. It's like, hey, instead of staying at a luxury hotel, for cheaper, you can stay at some random person's house. But over time, the prices started increasing. Now, it's still probably financially smarter to take an Uber or a Lyft, but Airbnbs, all the hidden fees and stuff, man, it's kind of pointless to stay in an Airbnb now, especially because, oh, we want you to clean the house and then we want you to pay us $100 extra for a cleaning fee. It's all crazy. But another thing that has been affecting Uber and Airbnbs, but let's just stick to ride sharing, is crime. Obviously, as an Uber driver, you're not, or a Lyft driver, a rideshare driver, you're not really protected from whoever the hell may be getting in your car. And then in some situations, as a passenger, can you really trust the driver that's coming to pick you up? So there's definitely a trust factor there that plays into the situation. I've been in the back of an Uber before, and it kind of takes the wrong turn, and you kind of wonder, like, wait, am I going to have to choke you out or jump out of this damn car? You know what I mean? Well, now, because crime is getting so bad throughout America, a new ride-sharing app is coming to the market where they're literally going to send armed guards to pick you up and transport you wherever you're going. I mean, if you want to ride up to the McDonald's, they're going to send an ex-Navy SEAL to your house in a car, armed to the teeth. You know, they got freaking rocket launchers hanging out the window. But in all seriousness, yes, this is a new thing that is coming to the market. And I don't know how to feel about it. Because, I don't know, is it just a gimmick? Do you really need an armed ex-military person coming to give you an Uber ride? What exactly are they protecting you from? I mean, maybe you got to go to a dangerous neighborhood, but I don't think it's like you get out the car, you pay them the money, and you walk off and something happens and these people are there to protect you. But let's go ahead and roll this clip. Let's figure out what's going on here, what they plan on accomplishing with this new rideshare app, and then I'll be right back, of course, with thoughts of my own.
A rideshare app with armed drivers. It started in Atlanta, and it's now moving into other cities. The owner says his company will keep you as safe as any celebrity or politician has on their own security detail. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran joins us now live. Good morning, Elizabeth. So you spoke to the founder, and he says he's really filling a need and a niche here.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, and he's welcoming the competition in what is a competitive rideshare market, right? So we're seeing a big shakeup. This new app is expanding to a number of cities across the country. He's offering armed, vetted drivers. And what the founder is saying is basically he spent 18 years as a private investigator, as a bodyguard for celebrities and politicians. And he says there's really a vacuum in the rideshare industry, that people are looking for safer options. It's called Blackwolf. The app already has about 200,000 downloads, and it hasn't been launched for about a year now. And the founder, Carrie King Brown, tells us that dozens of applicants and inquiries are coming in every day from a number of cities. He's trying to expand as quickly as he can. He has to interview and vet these drivers. So why is there an appetite? It's safety, right? So if you look at some of the numbers in 2019, almost 2,000 sexual assaults reported by Lyft passengers, 3,000 by Uber passengers. In 2018, Uber reported 3,600 crashes, and 2,000 of them did involve hospitalizations.
There's too many rapes. There's too many people getting carjacked. There's too many people that are not vetted. There's too many drivers who are driving the wrong vehicle.
Okay, so what are the requirements to drive? It's not easy. The minimum is 5 years of military or law enforcement or security experience, whether it be public or the private sector. You have to be CPR certified. You have to take a defensive driving course. And most importantly, these drivers can be armed if you choose to. You can have a driver who is not armed, who does not have a weapon. Another perk that he's offering is school services. So if you need a minor transported by one of these former military or former officers, that is also what he's offering.
That driver has to be vetted. That driver has to have a background. That driver has to have a proper vehicle. Normally, when people want to feel safe, the price is really out of their budget.
Well, that's a big question, right? What is the price? He says it is competitive to Uber Black. Sometimes it is cheaper depending on supply and demand. They are in Atlanta. They are in Miami. This week into next week, they are launching in Chicago, in Nashville, in Phoenix. He wants this to be in every city in the nation, and he is working to do that. What he did tell us is that he wants people to have this option, that he wants them to feel safer. So we did reach out to Uber, and we reached out to Lyft to ask them, would they be interested in arming their drivers? Would they have that as something that they could offer to consumers? We have not heard back, Anna, but of course we will keep you posted. And like you said earlier, this might just be an opportunity for more competition in the rideshare industry.
When it gets to the point that we're like, hey, we're going to start, equipping all of your Uber drivers with assault rifles to protect you, that's when you know, like, things have gone too far off the rails. How about instead of arming all the Uber drivers, maybe you crack down on crime? You know what I mean? That's what seems to be the big problem here. Now, I have no problem with firearms and stuff like that. I'm not someone that's like, we need to take them all away. But at the same time, it kind of feels like in some ways we're adding fuel to the fire. Like, yes, I agree, and I fully support someone's right to bear arms and protect themselves. But how about we crack down on crime and stop allowing all of these violent criminals back on the streets? How about we close down the borders and we fix our crime problems in other ways, as opposed to, the city's going to hell. Everyone's committing violent acts against everyone. Here, Uber driver, here's a gun, here's a rocket launcher, here's some grenades. Get your bulletproof vest on when you hop in the Uber or the Lyft. I just feel like, in some ways, I guess you're safer, but can we nip the actual problem in the bud? Because this is like a Band-Aid or an ointment that you're trying to use, and it's not going to make the problem go away. Also, as I was saying earlier, how much of this is a gimmick? Because it's not like your little rideshare driver is going to follow you around the mall protecting you like a bodyguard. Imagine that. You pay your Uber driver to pick you up. They send some freaking Marines all decked out in army gear, and they're protecting you. They're protecting you as you pull up to Dunkin' Donuts. You get you a Starbucks coffee. Maybe you go to Kroger's for some freaking rotisserie chicken, and your Uber driver's just walking behind you. making sure the coast is clear, hitting the corners, peering around the corner with the gun, making sure everything's okay as you go about your day-to-day life. Like, it's just absolutely insane that we've gotten here. It's crazy that crime is so bad that this is probably going to be a successful business. Why would you have a regular Uber or taxi pick you up when you can have, a freaking bodyguard that's supposedly going to protect you on your trip? It's just, it's so weird that we've gotten here. And like I said, I'm all for people coming up with new business ideas. I'm all for people being armed and able to protect themselves. But this is kind of sad. It's kind of sad when you have to start arming, your rideshare drivers, and you have to make sure that they're trained to protect you in any situation. And my thing is, like, even if we were to get into a sticky situation, do I really think that the $15 that you just got paid to drive me to the mall is enough to incentivize you to basically protect me from all of my enemies or from whatever harm or danger comes my way? And another thing, here's what I'm most worried about. What I'm most worried about is that this is going to be weaponized. I can guarantee you that. You're going to call one of these people to take you to a location where you have no business being, where you're in danger. Think about it. You got some gangster on the street. He's beefing with this guy from this neighborhood. I'm going to call the Uber freaking bodyguard ride share. We're going to pull up on your house. And when you come out here acting crazy, my bodyguard, that I paid $7 for this ride, he's going to shoot you. That's where this is going to head. People are going to try to weaponize this. They're going to pull up on their enemies. They're going to pull up in dangerous situations knowing that they're getting this unknowing driver into a dangerous situation, and they're going to hope that whatever few dollars they paid for the ride is going to be enough to have their little driver do something crazy or, do something in order to protect them from their enemies. So I don't see this ending well at the end of the day. I mean, I'm sure most people will just get regular rides, and if it makes you feel better, that your driver is armed and trained and ready to protect your life as you drive down the street, then fine. But I don't see this ending well. But for now, though, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.